You have to hire people who are motivated to be there and want to be part of the journey and who have something significant that they can contribute. Great relationships are built off good communication. Hiring people is no different. There's something to be said for understanding that your own intuition, there's this sort of weird dichotomy between you really need to follow your own intuition, but you also need to be very diligent about observing what your intuition is telling you and trying to critique it yourself. Yep. So I think it's easy to fall into the trap of like, you like this person, you should hire them. Because you like someone is not a good reason to hire anyone. It's a piece of data. It's anecdotal evidence that's part of a greater whole. I think you just have to be very diligent in making sure that people are who they say they are. Thoroughly vetting references, interviewing many people. I think it's very easy to kind of get enamored by one or two people, perhaps at the start of an interview process, and then say, oh, let's not bother interviewing other people. But I think you just have to be thorough and disciplined. And so making sure that if there is a long list of candidates, you try to get through as many of them as possible, that you do have a good process and that you stick to it, that you understand what your principles of hiring are. I'm much more interested in people who are, I really believe you have to be self-motivated. I think if you're going to a company looking to be motivated, that you're probably not going to find it. I'm a big believer in people have to be self-driven, and their work has to fit into their broader, context and approach and goals for life. And if it doesn't, if they're just turning up to get a paycheck, sometimes we just need to turn up to work to get a paycheck. But particularly as an entrepreneur, you can't afford to hire people like that. You have to hire people who are motivated to be there and want to be part of the journey and who have something significant that they can contribute. So just like anything, have a plan and stick to it, and make sure your plan is robust, and make sure you keep yourself in check, because again, it's very easy to be too informed by one good conversation or one good coffee and not do your due diligence in terms of really checking out this person's references and things like that. Not to say that, and I don't mean to say that in a you shouldn't trust what people say way. I say that in a you should make sure that you know what you're getting way. It's just being thorough and being disciplined and taking emotion out of it. It's probably another good point is try to hire with the least amount of emotion possible. Really look at what actually do you need out of the role and what actually do you need contributed, and objectively, does this person have it, or is there evidence that they will be able to develop that capability? If they don't have it now, realistically, do you have the ability to invest in them in terms of upskilling them and those types of things? That's a big part of it as well. I see this a lot of time when you're hiring developers. It's very attractive to hire the sort of upcoming junior and intermediate types of developers because they're talented. But the reality is they need coaching and they need management. And so if you're not prepared to do that and you want to, throw them in the mix of this, really complex problem or business, but not give them adequate support, you're doing them a disservice. So that's circling right back to my first point. It's about, I think the start point is just radical honesty. What do you actually need and why? What's going to work? What fits? What doesn't? And allowing that, person to communicate really open honesty with you about whether or not it's the right thing. I tend to try and in my interview process, particularly the first one, I just want to really get to know the person and understand them. And that's obviously a very difficult thing to do. It takes a lot of time. So probably one last thing, Campbell, is, don't rush it. You don't need to rush it, particularly when people are putting arbitrary deadlines on you. Recruiters are very good at going, oh, this person's got 10 different offers and we need to make a move now and blah, blah, blah. And don't buy into any of that. Move productively and pragmatically and at a pace that suits you, but don't rush the process just because someone else is telling you you have.